Look at all that juice.
どこのトイレ？あっち。
Peels here. Grabbing peels.
以上の使い手だろうな。
その人にされたらすごいんでしょうね。
Stop it. Get some help.
Pills here. We might need these.
I'm gonna be a one-man cheeseburger apocalypse.
Persona. Socially.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Ryo Jaxato, and this is Skultaro Kujo. Skultaro Sinnoh.
No, go back. You had it right the first time.
Today, we're looking at Persona Trinity Soul, the first ever Persona anime that hit the airwaves back in 2008.
Sorry, Persona 4 fans, but this is reality and you can't argue against it. But worry not, we'll cover your show eventually.
You mean shows?
Yet another of Atlus's awful decisions we have to live with.
We could have 2 Persona 5 shows to watch.
A breathtaking sight. Imitations they may be.
Persona Trinity Soul centers around the Kanzato brothers, Shin and Jun, moving in with their eldest brother Ryo because of plot reasons 10 years after they were separated. While Ryo accepts his younger brothers, he's eager to get them out of Ayanagi City as he's in the middle of dealing with a developing danger before it escalates and engulfs everyone there. Unfortunately for him and everyone else, fate has other plans as a local gang known as the Maribito jumped the brothers early on with the intent of trying to steal their persona for nefarious reasons. Locked in, but with a slowly growing cast of allies at their side, the brothers are forced to confront the Maribito and themselves as they pursue the truth behind the mysterious happenings and what really occurred in Ayanagi City 10 years ago.
We'll save you some time.
Yeah, no, it's, not great.
I always wondered what Paradigm City looked like when the mass amnesia outbreak happened.
Trinity Soul is a very different animal compared to the other Persona entries, as I'm sure you've glimpsed through the clips we've played so far. And considering this came out after P3 but right before P4, it all makes sense. But you know what? I dig it.
Every long-running series out there has that occasional experimental entry, whether it's because the series is still in its young phase or someone just wanted to get really creative. Regardless of the reason, we here at the viewing session appreciate and respect the decision. But the question is, does that make it good?
It's definitely watchable, no doubt about it. And personally, I've seen way worse shows than this that were both longer and shorter than it. It does have its share of problems, though. Like deciding that the scene of Ryo defending some kids from people wanting to kidnap them while in a mascot costume wasn't worthy of being animated.
Or not elaborating on the people funding our true main villain. Specifically, the group who wanted to use Persona as weapons of war. Could you imagine it? Like, for a minute. Kids with unstable emotions fighting in a war.
Boss, those are just kids. Don't hurt them. Boss, you killed a child. Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss.
Truly, war never changes.
Since the dawn of humankind, when our ancestors first discovered the killing power of rock and bone.
Or how about that plot point where you lose your ability to use your persona when you're an adult? You become 18, like on the battlefield, and your persona just kind of bounces, like it's gone. Forever.
It's such an awful idea. I don't care who you are.
Even the ending wasn't all that great.
It wasn't really much of an ending. It really needed one more episode so the ending could breathe. I don't care if the cast at the end of this can be counted on one hand, you still give them a fleshed out finale.
You want to know what we really loved about this show? The brutality.
Headshot.
Trinity Soul does not care who you are. If the anime decides you're dying, you're dying. Like this kid, for example. You see this kid, you think he's safe, BAM! Living in the USA!
The music is also good. Everything lined up pretty well, and the very few songs reused from Persona 3 were a nice touch.
I was so happy to hear Changing Seasons.
You know what I wasn't happy about? Not hearing all of Burning Men's Soul.
Check it out, I'm in the house like carpet.
Fun fact, they play Burning Men's Soul multiple times in the anime, but never long enough for the lyrics to kick in.
And he's more than a cover, he's a quilt.
Real shame if you ask me.
If this video gets 500 likes, I'll force Skullman to analyze the lyrics to Burning Men's Soul in a separate video.
Yeah, if this gets 500 likes, I'll... Wait a minute.
I won't spark it, I'll put it in my pocket and save it like rocket fuel.
But I'm not done yet. If this video gets another 500 likes, I'll make him sing it too.
Cause this you're gonna feel like velvet, turtle. Turtle!
Really makes me wish Cain or Abel would get DLC treatment one day. But considering the silent treatment from Atlas in regards to Trinity Soul, that ain't happening.
Another good thing about Trinity Soul is that its promotional website is still up, with all the persona and cast info on it. There's also no Dark Hour, TV World, or Metaverse equivalents. All the fights happen in the real world, with the persona all being transparent to show that only a fellow Persona user can see them.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it really goes to show how Persona are just discount stands. The fights in this, as much as I like them, just further drive this point home.
But you know what we really need to touch on? Shadow extraction. I can't believe we're just out here having my high school urban fantasy show. What the
Shadow extraction, or as the French say, Kagenuki, is a plot-important concept to Trinity Soul.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
No, we're not joking about this. It's a very important aspect to the plot and even had a small cult centered around it. Just keep that in mind when you watch the show.
Well, it's that time again. I like Persona Trinity Soul. It's obviously a diamond in the rough, but that's an appeal all of its own. Also, it's much shorter than a 60 to 80 hour RPG, so that's an additional plus in its favor. If you like experimental anime, or shows that needed more polish, check it out.
We didn't talk a whole lot about the characters or the deeper happenings of the plot because we feel it's best to experience Trinity Soul as blind as you can. Because trust me, there's a few other things I would have loved to talk about.
Though before we go, there's one thing I wanted to bring up.
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
So, you know how Ryo is the oldest of the Kanzato brothers? And that he's also a Persona user?
Go on?
And he's voiced by Takahito Koyasu?
No.
Which means that technically...
Stop it, right now.
This whole show is really...
We're not doing this joke again.
One whole retroactive JoJo reference. Good night, everybody.
でもこれ中に人が入ってんだぞ。違うもん、生きてるもん。